Well, here's a video of one of my other projects. I have several, as you can see. That's a cabin cruiser that needs a 6.2 diesel motor in it, which I am gonna replace. That one's a little Four Winds ski boat, bow rider, which I have to see if it still runs. That's a 65 Uniflite that I'm trying to get fixed up now to see if it'll go. And that's a little cabin cruiser. Oh, I don't know what it is. It's not a Four Winds, it's a something or other. Anyway, right now we're gonna get this little 65 cruiser ready. It's got an inboard outboard motor on it. It's got an eat and out drive. Don't know if it works. I guess I'll find out soon enough. This is the inside of it. It's been cannibalized a little bit. I have all the parts. The person was gonna restore it and just couldn't get it done halfway through the dismantle, but everything is there. Everything is complete. As you can see, he made a really cool steering wheel. Everything is here except for this door. This door I need a new door for it, but other than that, it's got a little cuddy cabin here with windows, a little bed right there. I got a lot of junk in here, but that's all pieces of the boat. The wood is reasonable. It just needs to be sanded and varnished, refinished. It's got a little sink over here, just a little gravity fed freshwater sink, little cabinet here, and this table here folds down and it makes a bed, a person on either side. And it needs a new ceiling. I'm not sure what all has been going on in there. There's a pump there for an air horn, but other than that, it's all there. It's vintage. So all I gotta do now is see if it'll run. So it's got a Pertronix electronic ignition inside the distributor. I checked that. I rebuilt the distributor. It was all gummed up inside, and so I got a new coil for it, wired it all up, and now I'm gonna see if it'll start. Let me get the key on here. And I don't have fuel to it yet because the fuel tanks need to be all cleaned out, so I'm just gonna start it with some carb cleaner and see what happens. I've got my little starter switch here, and look at that. I think it's gonna run for something that's been sitting for 25 years. Not bad. Okay. Now that I know it's going to run, now we can start cleaning it up and getting fuel to it. One of the fuel tanks, you can see there's a fuel line right here, a little Volkswagen fuel filter that's all busted up. One of the fuel tanks is right here. I got to take that out and clean it out. The other fuel tank goes right here. I already have that out. That's sitting down here. I'm going to clean that out, blow out all the lines. I need a new, looks like I need a new, yeah, look at that, a new line here. Yep. I need a new one of these, a new fuel line. That apparently just goes right here, goes up to there, hooks up to the carburetor. Actually a brand new carburetor. Check it out. That's way cool. So yeah, fuel hose, fuel filter. I can actually run this thing out of a tank if I want to. I might just do that and see what happens. I gotta wire everything up, like the oil pressure switch, all that kind of stuff. But you also gotta probably put a new pump in here. That's your fresh water pump that sucks up water from the ocean or the lake, pumps it in here, pumps it around, brings it out through the exhaust. So I got a feeling somebody might have put this motor in. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. I don't know the history of this boat, so we're just gonna spend as minimal as possible just to try to see if it's even worth salvaging, and I'll let you know. So here's what I've discovered so far on this boat, and I'm kind of looking for some advice on where to go with it. This is mostly 100%, I'd say 99% original on this 65 Uniflite. I can't find much online on it, so I'm looking for some advice. I ran the motor enough to find out that the Eaton outdrive works. It goes forwards, goes backwards. Here's your lever that adjusts that, and I haven't gotten it up and down yet, but there's no power tilt or anything. I guess it wasn't invented then, but it all seems to work okay. So I'm waiting for some parts for this pump here in the front. What I did is this sea strainer here is this sea strainer. I put a valve on here. It used to have just a hose going from the strainer up to the intake on the pump. I took the pump out because it's all deteriorated, and I got a new pump coming, so I'm going to put that in. But I wanted to be able to run this thing with a hose instead of only being in the water. So I installed this T here, and I can shut off the sea strainer, the intake, I mean, and I can hook up a garden hose to this little valve here, and it'll run water pressure up into the pump and then out through the manifolds outside on out the exhaust. So I got that figured out. This hose here, I left it long because I'm gonna bring it up and I'm gonna mount a filter strainer right here. So that's gonna get mounted right here. But for the time being, I need to run water through this thing. So number two, this alternator only has one connection on here. I'm assuming that just goes directly to the battery. So correct me if I'm wrong. I just temporarily hooked up this battery switch, which is probably going to go right here, and the batteries are going to go in this box and get tucked in there in the corner. Got this battery over here and a deep cycle battery over here that's going to get tucked in there, and all of my electric is going to get run through this marine cable here, positive and negative on a breaker. Mount the breaker on that back firewall there, or the transom wall, and then that's gonna go run up here with all the rest of my wiring, and it's gonna come up here, and I'm going to in here put in a breaker fuse panel. So I also got this mess here on the dash, and I was gonna cut a piece of white plastic that I got coming to go over this mess, and then I'll cut the original hole in here for the dash. I've got that piece. I want to cover up all these holes right here to try to make this thing as original as I can. I'm going to use all original type switches. I'm going to keep all this stuff. Bilge pump switch is going to go there. So I'm trying to put it back as original as possible. I also need to know what this door is supposed to look like. I don't have any pictures online of a 65 Uniflite, so I got some hinges here, but no door. So I got to know if this is like a louver door, a door with windows, 2 round windows maybe, I don't know. It looks like United Boat Builders Incorporated, Bellingham, Washington. So I'm still trying to figure out what goes there. My fuel tanks I got cleaned out. I'm still waiting for my fuel filler. There was a filler hose here that was so hard it wouldn't seal, and I leaked fuel when I put fuel in there. And I got some sending units coming, so I'm going to put a new sending unit there, a new filler hose. The throttle here, it all works. It needs to be taken apart and lubed up a little bit, but all the gearing, everything works inside, so I'm going to keep that as original as possible. And that's all I got to so far. So as soon as all my parts come, I'll put everything in here and let you know what we got so far. Right over here, there's a mess of wiring. I got to figure out what it's all for. Probably rip most of it out once I determine what I need and what I don't need. So here's my next project on this boat. I finally got it in my shop here, and if you look at this trailer, let me try to get back a little bit as far as I can in here. If you look at this boat, most of the weight with the motor and the outdrive is way behind that rear axle right there. So it makes it so that there's almost zero tongue weight. I can lift that thing with one finger off of my truck, and that's not good. So what I got to do is I got to slide this whole axle assembly back. And in this situation, if you look closely, you'll see this channel right here, and it's separate from this axle assembly. So they made this trailer frame so that you can put this axle assembly pretty much anywhere you want. So I've taken all the bolts out, and now I got a strap on that back axle right there, and I'm going to attach it to the back of the trailer frame, and I'm going to use that ratchet strap right there to pull this thing back so that this rear axle is probably about 16 to 18 inches farther back, and that'll give me the exact tongue weight that I need, because with the setup right here, it sways too much because I got too much weight in the back. Do all kinds of things with or the trucker scrap.